Hello students, I welcome you all to the e-learning sessions of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Myself Hardik Shah, and today we will discuss about the heat balance sheet numerical that is generally asked in every exam, right? So we have already started a new session on a chapter of engine testing and performance, right? We have already done some of the numericals on a basic testing, okay? Also we have seen one of the numerical on a heat balance sheet. So today in this lecture we will discuss more about the heat balance sheet numerical, okay? So this numerical is very in detail, okay? So you will understand everything about the heat balance sheet, fine. So without wasting much time, let's start our video. Okay, so what is heat balance sheet? The first question that arises in your mind. So what we were doing, we were actually making a table form, right? In which we are actually writing heat generated on one side and heat utilized on the other side, okay? And thereafter we were giving them percentage so we can understand where the heat is utilized, fine. So in same manner we will see today's example, fine. So let's see what is the data given. So first data is given like this. From the data given, calculate indicated power, brake power and draw a heat balance sheet for a two-stroke diesel engine. See, this is a two-stroke engine, fine. Two-stroke diesel engine run for 20 minutes at a full loading condition, okay? So we were giving a time of 20 minutes. So all the tests were taken for the 20-minute timeline and they have given already data in listed form. So it is very easier for us to understand, fine. So RPM is given 350. Thereafter mean effective pressure is given 3.1 bar. Same way other data is also given, okay? Net brake load, fuel consumption, cooling water is given 162 kg. So it is given the mass of the cooling water, fine. Thereafter water inlet temperature, water outlet temperature. So from that we will find delta T, okay? There is only one equation for the heat, that is Q equal to MC delta T, okay? We will always follow this equation for cooling water and exhaust gases. So the example will be very easy for you to understand, fine. Thereafter we are given air used for the fuel. So it is given in the kilogram. Room temperature, exhaust temperature, cylinder bore, cylinder stroke. So we are also given the design of cylinder, okay? Brake diameter. Thereafter calorific value of the fuel is also given. It is in kilojoule, so we will keep it as it is. Steam form per kg of the fuel in exhaust. So what is this? So actually whatever the cooling water is circulating, it is also formatting the steam, right? So the steam formed per kg of fuel in exhaust is given 1.4 kg. So it is actually our loss, steam loss, okay? Thereafter specific heat of the steam, that is 2.09, and the specific heat of dry exhaust gases, that is 1.0. So we are here given two type of exhaust, one is steam and one is dry exhaust, fine. So we will take all these listed formulas, listed data in one page, okay? We will write in one page and thereafter we will start our example, fine. So if you don't have any pen and paper right now, just pause this video, take pen and paper and write it with me, okay? Calculate yourself so you will get more understanding about this numerical, because this is the perfect numerical to understand heat balance sheet, fine. So now let's move to the solution part. So here we are given some of the data, okay? So we will write it in technical terms, like RPM is written as a capital N, okay? So here we have written all the data, you just need to see one by one, okay? I am not repeating all the data, fine. So what is next? In next we will actually first find indicated power, okay? We are actually told here to find indicated power, brake power and heat balance sheet, fine. So for indicated power, what is the formula? So there was a simple formula of IP, that is PM into LANK into 10/6, okay? So if it is single cylinder, there is only this formula. If it is multi-cylinder, we are multiplying by small n, okay? So our formula for this engine, because see we are given for two-stroke diesel engine, fine, and there is no anything data for the number of cylinders, so we will take number of cylinder as 1, okay? So n will be 1, so our formula will be n into PMI into LANK. Now K will be 1, it is two-stroke, okay? It is not four-stroke. In previous videos we have taken K equal to 1/2 for the four-stroke engines, fine. This is two-stroke engine, so in our data we will take K equal to 1, okay? It is constant. Thereafter 10/6, fine, because we are finding in kilowatt, fine. So let's move to the solution part of this IP. So N is given one single cylinder. PMI, so we are given the pressure of the 3.1 bar. You can see in data. Okay, 3.1 bar is given, so it will be 3.1 bar into 0.28, that is our what we are given bore and stroke. Okay, stroke is given 280 mm, so we will convert it into meter. So it will be 280, so it will be 0.28 into A, area is pi by 4 d square. Okay, so what will be the answer of this? So pi by 4 d square, d is given 200 mm, so it will be 0.2 square. Okay, thereafter RPM, that is N 350 into K is always 1 for the 2-stroke engine, into 10 by 6. And when you will calculate this type of IP, you will get the answer of 15.9 kilowatt. Okay, I want you to calculate yourself in calculator, so you will get how to convert all the things and how to make it clear. Okay, also measure the time that you are taking for calculation, because in written exams the time bounding is also always there. Fine, so make it sure that you complete the example in some period of time, so you can move to the other parts. Okay, so this was the first our IP that we have found. Okay, next point. So next is brake power. So what is brake power? We have one formula for the torque, that is 2 pi nt by 60. But see here in data, torque is not given. Okay, in place of that we are given actually W. Okay, so we are given W, thereafter brake power, brake diameter. So the formula for this type of rope brake dynamometer, or you can say any single brake dynamometer, the formula will be depending on the loading. Okay, so as per loading condition, the brake power equation will be W minus S into pi into brake diameter dB into RPM upon 60 into 1000 for the kilowatt. Okay, so the formula will be like this. We are actually given here the net brake load. Okay, you can see here we are given the net brake load. Okay, so it will be 640 into pi into diameter is given 1 into 350 divided by 6 into 1000. So you will get the brake power answer will be 11.73. Fine. So here we have found first one, that is heat generated, that is in the form of IP. Second, we have found the heat utilization in a brake power. Okay, so now we will discuss about the heat. Okay, heat part. Okay, so whatever the heat which is equivalent to IP and BP, that we will take in consideration during the heat balance sheet. Fine. So let's move to the heat balance sheet part. So here we are given, it is actually the test is carried out in 20 minutes. Okay, so for 20 minutes what we will do? We will find all this data according to 20 minutes. Okay, so what we will take? We will take that given data, that is 1.52. Now what is this 1.52? See, we are given the fuel consumption. Okay, fuel consumption means mass of fuel which is actually used for 20 minutes to test this engine. Okay, see the fuel consumption is given here, that is 1.52 kilogram, and the calorific value, that is CV, it is 43900. There is always one formula, that is MF into CV will give us the actual heating condition, actual heat in an engine. Okay, so whatever the fuel is actually burnt inside into CV, so it will give us the heat generated inside the engine. Fine. So it is our main heat which is generated due to the fuel part, that is 66728 kilojoule. Okay, now let's move to the first one. For 20 minutes what will be there? We are here given the data, that is heat generation and fuel supply. Okay, so what will be the equivalent for 20 minutes? So we have already found this. So it is IP into 60 into 20. Okay, why this formula? Because IP was found in kilowatt, and kilowatt means kilojoule per second. Okay, I repeat, kilowatt means kilojoule per second. We are here given 20 minutes, so we need to convert it into minutes. Okay, so what we will do? IP is given, IP was found 15.9. Okay, it was per second, so per minute it will be 60, and there are 20 minutes, so we will multiply by 20 more. So you will get answer of the 19080. Okay, I am repeating all things again. For IP it will be per second, it was per second, so we will convert into minute. So we have written here 60, we need it for 20 minutes, so we have written here 20 also. By multiplying all of this, we will get 19080 kilojoule. So this was the main heat generated inside the engine. Okay, now we will move to the heat utilization part, where all the heat will be consumed. Okay, and then after we will make some tabulated form. So what is the heat generated or heat utilization? So first one, let's find for the cooling water. So for cooling water, the simple equation was there, Q equal to MC delta T. Okay, so we are here given the mass of cooling water, the specific heat of CV of cooling water, CPW, specific heat of the water, thereafter temperatures. Okay, so we will put all the data together in this simple formula, Q equal to MC delta T. Okay, delta T means difference of temperatures. Okay, so this is the answer, that is 162 was mass into 4.18, it was its CV, it was its specific heat, thereafter difference of temperature, so 55 minus 30, that was actually given in data, so you will get 16929 kilojoule. Okay, so this was our main answer. Thereafter total mass of air which was consumed inside, so mass of air will be 32 for what? For 1 IP. We have found the IP for 1 kg of fuel. Okay, now we are even given 1.52 kg of the fuel, so for that the answer will be 48.64 kg for our given amount of fuel. Okay, so that was the total part of air. Now we will move to the exhaust part. Okay, so total mass of exhaust gases will be what? So exhaust is actually formed by the two things, first is air, second is fuel. Okay, so we will now actually combine both of them, fuel plus air. Okay, and then after we can found the exhaust gas real. Okay, so mass of fuel plus mass of air, mass of fuel is already given 1.52. We have just found the mass of the air, so it is 48.64 and answer will be 50.16 kg. Okay, so here half example is done. So it was very simple, you just need to find the logic behind the formulas. Okay, there is only one formula, Q equal to MC delta T for everything. Fine. Now we will find the steam formation, because we are given the steam is also formed. Okay, so for steam formation what is given? It was given 1.4. Okay, and our fuel consumption is 1.52. So here you can see 1.4 into 1.52, the answer will be 2.13. Fine. So this was the steam formation. So we can say the in exhaust, this part was the steam. So we need to find the real exhaust without steam. Okay, so our main exhaust, or you can say mass of dry exhaust, will be our found exhaust, that is 15.16 minus this steam, and steam was found 2.13. Okay, so we will get 48.03 kg of the dry exhaust without steam. So this was the correction, this was the correct answer for the dry exhaust gases. Fine. So this was the calculation for the mass. Now let's move to the exhaust part for the heat calculations. Fine. So again take equation Q equal to MC delta T. Okay, mass of the gas, we have just found exhaust gas, that is 48.03. Okay, and thereafter CPG is given 1 for the exhaust gas, and temperatures are given. One is engine temperature, exhaust temperature, one is room temperature. Okay, so we will take the difference of both of them. So we will take 305 minus 25 and you will get the answer of 13448 kilojoule. So this part was utilized in a exhaust. Okay, next is heat carried away by steam. So whatever the steam was formatted, so it is actually simple formula for that steam part. You just need to remember this formula. Okay, so it will be 2.13. What is 2.13? It is the mass of steam form. See, we have just found. Okay, so it was MF into HF plus HFG plus CPS T superheated minus SHG. You have learned this formula in ET. Okay, so whenever the heat is in a heated condition, we were actually taking this type of example, this type of formula. Okay, so there will be mass into HF plus HFG, because it was converting from water to steam. Okay, plus Cp T superheated minus T saturated. Okay, and when we put all our data in this formula, you will get the answer of this heat carried away by the steam, that is 6613 kg per kg. Okay, we are actually here neglecting the sensible heat of the water at the room temperature, because it is not given in data. So we are just neglecting, because the loss will be very small. Okay, so we are just here neglecting. So this was all the steam calculation, or this was all the heat calculations for the heat balance sheet. Fine. So now let's see how we will do tabulated form. So here I have given the simple table for the heat balance sheet method. Okay, so first one we will give the main heat supply that was actually used by the fuel. Okay, so fuel supply was what? So it will be 66,728 kilojoule. It was 100% fine, and we have done that. It was actually utilized in formation of the IP, thereafter cooling water, exhaust gases, steam gases and unaccounted losses. Fine. So first we have found the equivalent to IP. So it is 19080, that is 28.60. See, we have not taken BP here because it is actually same as IP. It was nearly same as IP. Okay. So we have taken the IP here. Okay. In some of the cases the IP is taken as the heat consumption part, but when you are given fuel plus exhaust gases plus water plus steam, okay, in two-stroke engine, I am taking about the two-stroke engine. So in that case what we are doing, we are only taking the main heat supply for the engine, and thereafter we will convert it to the other part like IP, exhaust gas, cooling water and steam. Okay, so this was the first part, heat supply, that was 100%, and it is taken as 66728 from our previous founded data. Okay, next part, it is the heat equivalent of the IP. So it is 19080. We will find the percentage afterwards. So I will tell you how to find the percentage. Okay, thereafter heat carried away by the cooling water 16929, exhaust gases 13448, steam 6613, and unaccounted. Now what is unaccounted losses? So what we will do, we will actually do summation of all these four: IP, cooling water, dry exhaust and steam. Fine. And thereafter we will actually subtract this summation from the main heat supply, that is heat supply by the fuel. So we will do summation of all these four things: 19,000, 60,000, 13,000 and 6613, and we will actually subtract it from the 66728. Okay. So our answer will be 10658, that is our unaccounted losses due to radiation, convection and other parts. Okay. So the total of this heat utilization will be exactly same as 66728, same as heat supply. Fine. Now move to the percentage part. Now what will be the percentage, how we will count it? So there is a simple formula of the maths that we have learned in a school, that at 100, if the 66728 is called 100%, 19080 will be how much percent? So it was a simple formula like that. Okay. Again for the cooling water, if 66728 is 100%, 16929 is how much percent? So you will get the answer of 25.4. Same way you can find for the exhaust gas, steam and unaccounted losses. Fine. So same way you will find all the percentage, and again that total of the percentage will be approximate 100. Okay. So it will be nearby 99.99 or exactly 100. Fine. So you need to just calculate main kilojoule and thereafter percentage part, and this percentage part, percentage part shows us that heat utilized was actually 100% and heat supply was 100%. So total we have found the heat balance sheet. So whatever the heat is actually going anywhere in the engine. Okay. So this was our main part. It was the heat balance sheet, and you need to draw everything about this. Okay. So this was the main part that we need to draw, and for that we have done the calculation for the previous one. Okay. So that's it in today's session. If you have any query, you can write it in a comment section. Fine. And I will make some of the more video on MOS test and other examples. So stay tuned, and yes, subscribe this channel so you will get all the videos as soon as I upload it. Fine. Thanks for watching. Keep learning. Thank you.